Momentum is often associated with science, and when it comes to business and creating consistency and building momentum, it's no different. So, in this week's episode of Connect the Dots and this week's YouTube video, depending on where you're listening, I review the importance of momentum, and it all starts with creating content consistently. So, I do talk through some sciencey type terms that go into developing habits. And as we know, with anything new, whether it's starting videos or it's creating a new business or any type of new habit that you're trying to start and keep, it all boils down to mindset, having a plan, and building consistency. Stick with me through the end, and I will help you with the next steps for building momentum in your business. Let's get to it. I'm actually pretty excited about today. I tend to get excited about things where you can actually talk about the reasons why we do certain things or the reasons why we should do certain things instead of just saying it, putting some rationale behind it. So a portion of today is a little sciencey. Today, we're going to talk about the momentum that you can create in your video marketing content. So real quick, what is momentum? It's about magnitude and direction, right? So it's not just one thing and just moving in different directions. It's about a plan and then creating a way that you can move forward. Did you know? We all know this. Creating new habits is hard, right? Do you know what the most popular attempt at forming a habit is? Yeah, so the biggest thing in all of these things that you guys listed are all going back to one thing that they do every year, right? Most of us do this. We create a New Year's resolution because we have good intentions, right? We have this goal that we want to achieve, and we use this one time of the year to say, I'm going to make this happen, right? And then what happens? After 4 weeks, a third of the people have actually already stopped, right? So there's a 64 continuous rate. So let's focus on the positive. 2/3 of people who set a resolution will still be working on that resolution 4 weeks after. So all of January, we're good. After 6 months, then it drops to less than half keep it. So you've got a 46% take rate. So less than half of people who set a resolution trying to create a new habit are actually continuing. So that means more than half people just don't have it in them to continue, right? So the top 3 reasons why resolutions aren't kept, and you guys were talking about it here, is unrealistic goals. Another thing is that they don't keep track of their progress. If you don't write it down and you don't have a plan, then how can you track it? You can't, right? And then of course they forget about it. So if you say it and then you don't continue to do it or have a plan in place to actually make it happen, then you're obviously going to forget about it because it's not a priority. The reason why I share this is because having a plan that you visit often makes all the difference in the world in achieving your goals and building the momentum that you need with habits that you form in order to create consistency, because you need to create consistency before you can build momentum, right? So a quick note, again, a little bit deeper here on science, but I think you guys will appreciate this. So to have momentum, you need consistency. Consistency requires developing and reinforcing habits. You've all heard this before, the 21-day rule. It takes 21 days to create a new habit. Here's the thing. I did some research on this. So this is all based on research. This theory of 21 to 28 days, 21 days to create a new habit, dates back to an idea published in a 1960 book. He was a doctor, so that's good. It was valid. It was called Psycho-Cybernetics. Right, the number 21 was a perceived metric based on a small study group of himself and his patients at the time. So it was a moment in time in a very, very small sample group, but because he put it in a book that ended up being purchased 30 million times, it created that momentum that people started to believe that it was only a 21 day, routine to change your existing habits or to create a new habit, right? So in reality, again, research, it can take anywhere from 18 days to 254 days for a person to form a new habit, and then an average of 68 or 66 days for a new behavior to become automatic. So it can take you almost a year. And again, I am of the belief, and this is not science, it's just logic in my head, is that the reason why it takes longer to create some habits is because it's a habit that you've had for a long time that you have to change. So an example would be, I will use myself. I'm a sugar addict. I love candy. I've been having candy my entire life. I've had nothing but sugar, and it's my go-to. When I crave something, it's sugar. Of course, I've tried thousands of times throughout my life to stop eating as much sugar. And I finally decided 2 weeks ago that I was going to stop eating sugar. But because there's a reason tied to why I'm trying to break an old habit and create a new habit, it takes effort and it takes time, and you have to figure out what's going to work for you. And that might be something as silly as writing a post-it note as a reminder, right? Or when it comes to our business, obviously it's a lot bigger than, just trying to stop eating sugar. You're trying to grow a dream life that you want, and it requires planning, and that takes time and effort. Now, most of the times you do have to break an old habit. So even in our business, we're all wearing multiple hats and we're doing all kinds of different things. And that requires us to sometimes stop, take a step back, and figure out what we need to do to form that new habit. So pleasurable habits like eating sugar, and in this case, if you're used to and enjoy actually doing text-only posts versus creating video, the pleasurable habits will release dopamine. Okay. And that's like a hormone that is a reward-based hormone. Okay. And then it also strengthens that habit and creates reinforcement to continue. So if you love posting, you could be great at posting every single day and all you're doing are text posts. That's great because you enjoy doing it and you're being present, but you could be present in a different way that it further engages you with your ideal customers and the people who are there, right? So trying to create new habits, which oftentimes are associated with unpleasurable tasks, right, initially releases cortisol, which is associated with stress. So you have to, again, mindset and habit creation of getting into wanting to do it, one, and then creating a habit as well. So let's bring it full circle. Let's step out of the whole science thing. So in order to create momentum in your business using video, the magnitude and the breadth, creating the direction that you need in anything that you need to do, you need to create new habits. New habits take time and consistency. And today, more than ever, we are not patient people. We are on demand. We want things when we want them. And if we want to create videos consistently, like right now, we want it done yesterday, right? So this is something that it does take time and consistency, as you know. So why start being consistent with video? Okay, we go back to the whole know, like, and trust factors in the customer journey. You may have set goals for yourself in 2022, and this may have started getting you to think that, wow, here we are mid-year 2022, and I haven't even started on one or multiple goals. So a video is one of the things that you've been wanting to get started with, or you've just wanted to start increasing sales in your business. I invite you to take my video success quiz, which will help you identify where you should start creating videos for your business. The link to take the quiz will be in the comments, or if you're listening to this on Connect the Dots, which is episode 132, you can find it in the show notes at connectthedotspodcast.com. And again, this is episode 132. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you are not already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe now. Like this if you're watching it on YouTube, and I will see you next week. And until then, make today great.